Thank you for that, Ed. As the crisis on the border worsened, Texans are growing more and more skeptical of President Obama's request for emergency funding. While President Obama claims the nearly $4 billion requested would help border security, some say it's really just a social services bill aimed at aiding illegal immigrants. According to a breakdown from the USA Today, most of the money requested will go towards providing better housing for illegals while they're in custody, not protecting the border. In fact, only $433 million of the $3.7 billion requested, that's less than 12%, would go to Customs and Border Protection. Another big chunk of that $4 billion, nearly 50%, would go to Health and Human Services to care for the illegal immigrants, which some say proves the administration is not serious about sending them back home. Meantime, Texas Governor Rick Perry says the crisis could have been prevented years ago.
It could have been stopped years ago had the administration listened, had the administration been focused on the border with Texas.
Meanwhile, Senator Rand Paul says that even with the crisis at the U.S.-Mexican border, Texas Governor Rick Perry still finds time to attack Paul's stance on foreign policy. In an open letter from the Kentucky senator to the Texas governor, Paul says Perry fictionalized his views in address to the governor. Rand Paul says some of Perry's solutions for the current chaos in Iraq aren't much different from what I proposed, something he fails to mention. His solutions also aren't much different from President Obama's. The Republican senator is referring to Rick Perry's allegations that Rand Paul is an isolationist. Paul responded to those claims by writing this, quote, "Does Perry now believe that we should send U.S. troops back into Iraq? I asked Governor Perry how many Texas mothers and fathers will he ask to send their children to fight in Iraq." Paul also says that in that letter that an overwhelming majority of Americans don't want to send American soldiers back to Iraq, and asked, quote, "Is Perry calling for the entire country, or is calling the entire country isolationist too? This looks like the beginning of an ongoing battle we'll see much more of as we ramp up to the 2016 presidential elections." Meantime, overseas, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is in Vienna meeting with his Iranian counterpart Javad Zarif today. This is the second consecutive day of talks between the two officials. The subject is Tehran's nuclear program. Next week, we'll see the July 20th deadline arrive, and that's when the P5+1 partners are supposed to have a firm deal in place. A senior State Department official said Kerry is there, quote, to gauge Iran's willingness to make the critical choices, quote, it needs to make. More news ahead in 30 minutes.